Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Tuesday live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe P. Zapia, and with me, as always, my co-host, the wizard that chose his own wand, D-Bro, Derek Brown, the king of bros. And we have got a lot to break down for you on the live stream today on the YouTube channel. But before anything else we could possibly talk about, not one, but two alpha dog wide receivers on their ways to new teams. Davante Adams, goes to the New York Jets. Boring. Terrible. And I was thinking to myself, boy, oh boy, those Buffalo Bills really missed an opportunity. But just a few hours later, Derek Brown, in a magical world of football that we live in, Amari Cooper gets dealt to the Buffalo Bills. Both guys going for third round picks. So Davante Adams clearly set the tone here for everything. And let's talk about the guys, where they're going, the fallout from what they left behind, and who this affects positively and negatively. Let's start with Adams, since that was the first guy, D-Bro. So Adams and his best buddy, who I heard were together on the Pat McAfee show. You know, they showed up together there, and they did the little like, oh, who's that? Who could that be behind me? Oh, look, it's Little Derek. Oh, it's Little Derek is here the whole time. Little Derek was on the show. But Adams is here with the Jets. They're reunited. What does this mean for Adams' value, though? Let's be honest here at this stage for both of these guys. The way Aaron Rodgers is playing for the first 6 weeks of the season, they have exactly the same amount of points as they had last year for the first 6 weeks of the season. That is a stunning and depressing statistic.
I will say this. The first thing I thought of whenever the Davante Adams trade got announced was the Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa little gif, or I guess meme or whatever. Where he's like Cavill's standing there and Momoa's behind him. Like poor Garrett Wilson, baby. I mean, the stock is going down, and I don't think a lot of people for Garrett Wilson will say, oh, this is a good thing. Now he doesn't get bracket coverage and blah, blah, blah. He's also not going to get alpha level volume. He becomes the wide receiver 2 definitively. And I was updating rest of season rankings real fast, Joey, before we went live here, because just trying to get a finger on the pulse. And you tell me if this is too high. Davante Adams, rest of season, wide receiver 9. Is that too high considering the volume he's going to get?
Who are the
and Garrett
three
Wilson?
guys after him?
Mike Evans, which you can make a conversation for.
I'll make the conversation for Evans, but continue.
Okay.
I
Tyreek
think
Hill.
Baker's playing very well.
Baker's playing very well.
I'm taking Tyreek Hill in 2 weeks. The first 6 weeks of the
with
season
still
will be a distant memory.
Doesn't have a return date. We think maybe week 8, but that's still not set in stone.
Okay. I'll still take Tyreek Hill. Next.
Okay. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, you got me on Adams.
Okay, so then what are we saying?
He's a wide receiver
11. Yeah, he's a wide receiver 1.
Okay,
and
right.
and Garrett Wilson, I moved down to wide receiver 17. So stop me if I'm wrong here. I moved DK Metcalf above him. I have Terry McLaurin above him and Deontay Johnson above him. Are any of those wrong?
I would argue there's potential for Cooper to be above Deontay Johnson. Again, I want to base it on quarterback play. You know,
no, Garrett Wilson.
I'm sorry. I thought you were jumping around.
Sorry.
Amari Cooper. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess the argument people want to make now is, okay, well, Garrett Wilson sees single coverage. He might not get as much volume, but can he be efficient when he gets in single coverage as the number 2? Is he an interesting buy low at this stage again, now that Adams has actually happened, this deal?
I mean, what are you buying low off of? Like, that's my whole thing. It's like anybody that has Garrett Wilson, the buy low and the almost blasphemous trade offers are going to be hitting your inbox immediately or in the group chats. So to me, it's not a buy low because I don't think you're going to get a lot of like decent offers for Garrett Wilson, or if you're trying to put him out there, I think people are going to have to see it to then pay up for him. Like this week he goes out, he gets 10 targets, he produces similar stat lines to what he's done all season, maybe a little bit better with Adams in the offense. And then maybe you go out there and you say, okay, what about Garrett Wilson and a plus? Can I upgrade it at wide receiver if you need more depth? Right now, I don't think people are going to pay up for it. And honestly, people are probably going to say, okay, I need to know I need to see it first. But this also pushes Al Mazard, who has been kind of crazy in that wide receiver 2/3 bucket over the last few weeks in production. Not saying we're ranking him that way, but this makes him like a wide receiver 4. And now like the twin pillars of that offense are really going to be Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, look, before we get to the fallout of the other guys, let me go back to Garrett Wilson's value a second. Would you rather have Brandon Ayuk rest of season or Garrett Wilson?
Ayuk.
Would you rather Davante Smith rest of season?
I have him right above Stephon Diggs, Devonta Smith, and DJ Moore.
What about T. Higgins? You want Higgins? I want Higgins.
Yeah, I kind of think I want T. Higgins considering the last 2 weeks.
One more. Brian Thomas Jr. Who would you rather have?
I'll take Garrett Wilson on that one.
All right, that's interesting.
Just because Jacksonville's offense is so dysfunctional and broken right now.
Fair, but there's a.
I think after this week they fire guys,
so that's kind of an interesting spot. There. All right, so the Jets are saying that Mike Williams is available in a trade. No shock there. Okay, and now we're talking about Garrett Wilson's value. We're talking about the value of Allen Lazard going downward as well. What about the Breece Hall value? Last night. As we discussed before, I was over on the rushing yards. I was over on the receiving yards. Bing, bing. Got both of those. Make sure you're following us at Betting Pros. How does this positively potentially impact him?
I think you're just going to create an offensive ecosystem to where hopefully it's more efficient. They score more points. They move the ball better, more red zone opportunities. Like for Breece Hall, because the Jets offensive line has been a bottom 3 unit. Like you could pull up any single metric and they have been a bottom 3, if not the worst run blocking offensive line in the NFL. So this just helps the passing attack, which makes life easier for Breece Hall in the running game and hopefully open up more holes because teams have to respect the pass more instead of saying, okay, well, guess what? We just bracket Garrett and Almazard. Fine, you do your things, but you're not going to be the true outcome or difference maker on the week. So I think it's good things for Breece Hall. And after last night, we've been telling people to go out and try to trade for Breece Hall, Joey. Yeah. After last night and the Davante Adams trade, that window is shut. It's shut gone. Hard. You are not going to be able to trade for him now. Not
this notion too that all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers and Superflex gets super elevated because of this. I think is a fake, nonsense statement. Like he has been a quarterback in decline since before he left Green Bay. Don't try to fool yourself into anything else. Can Adams help? Sure. Is he going to make him all of a sudden a QB1? No.
No.
So let's not go crazy here.
No.
Let's talk about the
QB2.
Cleveland Browns. They've jettisoned Amari Cooper, which is funny because just yesterday on the show, I was saying, we could drop Jeudy, right? Well, I guess we can't. I guess now we can't drop Jeudy. We have to hold on to him.
I mean,
anybody else, maybe potentially a win? And do we see now that this trade has happened, more potential leeway for another quarterback to be playing in Cleveland?
I would say a lot of people, the knee-jerk reaction is going to automatically be to Jeudy. I'm going to tell people I think the biggest benefactor here, and with his improving health and considering the state of the position, I think you need to go out and you put out offers for David Njoku, because his target share is going to climb. And while Jeudy has been solid and he is going to see more targets, could we also not get the David Njoku that we got last year with only him and Jeudy to split up targets between? And then, hey, look, my question, Joey, to everybody out there as well as you right now is, how fast do they replace Deshaun Watson rest of the season? We talked about this before we turned the mics on, but like, if Cleveland wants to tank, you keep Watson under center,
right? And
you're going to lose games.
Because you said, well, maybe there's a chance for them to really tank. I said, well, if they're tanking, then Deshaun should start every single snap for the rest of the season.
But if you're getting rid of Cooper and you want to try to save the season, like, their season is quickly going down, if not already down the toilet. But if you had any hope of saving the season, and Stefanski saying, look, like, I mean, can we also say Stefanski might be coaching for his job, right or wrong? Like, I don't think that like they should fire him.
It's not fair, but yes,
they're going to blame it on somebody.
So let's talk about Cooper with Josh Allen and what that looks like too, because that's what this offense has been missing. It's clear in moments last night that they don't have that go-to guy for the big plays. And hopefully Amari Cooper comes in, plays ball. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time. And this is his chance to win a division, go to the playoffs, and maybe go to a Super Bowl. I mean, talk about changing your stars. It's a way better shift for Amari Cooper to Buffalo than it is for Davante Adams. The Jets have to dig themselves out of a hole, and they're staring up a Buffalo who just beat them last night. So let's talk about that, what it looks like, and let's talk about Amari Cooper rest of season. Where do you have in the rankings based on the move now with Josh Allen?
I moved him up for like basically a low-end wide receiver 3, and a lot of it's not been on Cooper. It's been how bad Deshaun Watson has been. I'm not saying Cooper has been stellar in like per route metrics, but there could be an effort and other parts or pieces to that for Cooper. I don't think he's fully dusted. So I moved Cooper up to wide receiver 23. I have him right behind Deebo Samuel, although I think there's a conversation to be had there. I think he is in the same area code as Zay Flowers, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, and probably Brian Thomas Jr. and J-Mo at this point. But, I mean, that's where I think Cooper belongs, is somewhere in that low-end wide receiver 2 area code. And, yes, crazy, Joey. I know that it was all, like, you know, the talking point du jour of Josh Allen's going wide receiver by committee, and he doesn't have to force feed any wide receiver. Amazing that when the chips are down and you're not in a position to just run the ball every game, all game, and you got to drop back and pass, that a go-to wide receiver and a true wide receiver 1 is probably a good thing for an NFL offense, huh, Joey?
Probably. That's for sure. I would think so. And look, I'm not mad at the fact that they tried this. I'm happy that they realized it wasn't working.
Exactly.
And one more guy, too, to throw in this mix, too. It's a player that I liked when he was coming out of the draft, is Cedric Tillman. Any chance we see more Tillman in this Browns offense?
Yeah, definitely could. I mean, I definitely think he could be out on some waiver wires in dynasty leagues, so definitely worth a pickup. Especially if we see Jameis. If we see Jameis hit the starting lineup. But are you kind of there where I'm at as far as low end wide receiver 2 value for Amari Cooper moving forward?
Yeah, I think I'm exactly where you're at.
I love your Amari sweatshirt, I way.
Yeah, well, I was wearing this just to troll after yesterday's game, as I'm one to do. But yeah, man, like, look, Cooper is and always will be a boomer bust kind of guy. But now that you're playing with a guy like Josh Allen, there's far more opportunity for consistency. Now, what does it do to Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid? Does this like potentially raise them all up? Because look, Cooper is a difference maker guy, big plays, moving the chains, more opportunity to score fantasy points. That's a positive thing. I understand the volume might shift, but in terms of, again, efficiency, is this positive for the Bills offense overall and some of these other ancillary pieces? Like, should we be down on Shakir, or is it kind of steady as she goes with those guys, Kincaid and etc.?
I think this puts the Keon Coleman hope for anybody out there in a coffin. Who's been a part-time player or basically a ghost. You are screaming and kicking right now. If you were like, oh, Keon Coleman's breaking out his rookie season, don't see that happening now. Shakir is going to bump down from like a wide receiver 3 to the wide receiver 4 ranks because Cooper is a target earning wide receiver. Like he earns a high end target share. And I think this offense passing wise is going to flow through Cooper. I think the next in line will be Dalton Kincaid. And the big thing for Dalton Kincaid is the biggest problem Dalton Kincaid has faced is because the Buffalo Bills defense is as good as it is. And they haven't had to throw the ball more this year. Where I think this can help Dalton Kincaid, and everybody's going to automatically go and say, okay, well, more defensive attention to Amari Cooper, and that helps him. But the other side of this is, could we see the Bills throw the ball more, not only early in the games, but in close games, because they have a better wide receiver 1 now? So maybe this team, which we have seen from the outset, be extremely run heavy in neutral scripts. Could they tick up the passing volume? And this, where a lot of people say, okay, this is bad for Dalton Kincaid because Amari Cooper is going to earn a lot more targets. This actually could be good because Buffalo could actually start to throw the dang ball more.
Yeah, that's the thing to me. It's like they've been very conservative and they've been limited. I agree 100%. Keon Coleman, I think, is the big loser here in this grouping. And of course, if you want more on the breakdown of all of these big wide receiver trades, head over to FantasyPros.com. We've got write-ups on all of them coming at you right now. Some of them are already up there. So go check out the breakdowns. Check it out again, FantasyPros.com, for the latest on the Adams and Cooper deals. Let's get to some of your questions. Finally, waiver wire time. All right, let's go to Sean's question, but that's important stuff. It's not every day you get 2 giant fantasy trades in actual football. Should I pick up JuJu and drop Christian Kirk? Are we ready to do this?
No. And Pat and I kind of sparred back and forth. He is much higher on JuJu Smith-Schuster than I am. I don't see this as JuJu truly getting the Rashee Rice role, and that kind of goes back to, like, if you look at his first read share, I am not dropping Christian Kirk for that. I actually think this is a really sneaky spot for Kirk to have a really good game. New England has done a pretty good job with Christian Gonzalez of taking away wide receiver 1s, but they have struggled versus the slot, and wide receiver 2s have done pretty well against them. So I think this is a big Kirk game. I'm not dropping it for JuJu.
Fun schedule here for the Bills upcoming, by the way. Titans, Seahawks, Dolphins, and Colts. If you can't get Amari Cooper going in the next 4 weeks, folks, it ain't never happening again.
Yep.
Recyclops, Bohemian Rhapsody, RBs are Etienne, Gibbs, and Moss. Tight ends are Goddard and Kraft. Would you prioritize RB or tight end on the waiver wire? We got Chubb out there, Ingram, Otton, ever the gratitude. We love Recyclops here. I'm not worried about tight end at all. I know Goddard might not play, but you play Croft. You can never have enough running backs, so add Chubb immediately. That's what I'm doing.
You're not adding Ingram over him? See, for me, this is add Ingram and then go trade one of Ingram or Kraft. That's the way I would.
Yeah, but you know what? Trades are so tricky. Just give me the running back. Like Goddard, Kraft. Like, I don't trust Ingram right now with the way his health has been. You could play Kraft. You could play Goddard every week. One of those guys will be fine. The matchups, somebody will be decent. Chubb. Just pick up Chubb. That's what you do right now.
He'd be the second in line for me.
Jeff Rogers. He should be first. Put some respect on his name. We're going to be running the football a lot more in Cleveland when Big Chubb comes back. I need a receiver. Pick one. Downs, Doubs, Douglas, or Watson. It's Watson for me, bro. He's got the best QB. And Doubs, I don't believe in. Sorry.
I think it's Downs for me right now, but Watson and Douglas are running neck and neck with him.
Even with Richardson coming back?
Yeah, even with Richardson. I mean, Pittman, right. I think Pittman is one, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this rooting for injuries, I think Pittman is one decent hit to the IR. Like, his back is still not 100%.
No, it's not. Speaking of Pittman, Enrique wants to know, waiver wire pickups in my league, Sutton, Pittman Jr., DeMario, Douglas. Which two?
Douglas and Pittman Jr. I don't want any part of a Bo Nix passing attack. Sorry.
Agreed. You know what I do want a part of? One of our amazing Trophy Smack giveaways here, and you gotta check this one out. Ooh. It's the golden toilet. That's right. You wanna send this to the loser in your league? This is a way to embarrass your friends and family members. And you can even customize it. Look at that bad boy from our friends over at Trophy Smack, the #1 store for epic fantasy football tournament trophies. All you have to do to win the golden toilet, drop your comments below. Drop your comments below. Not in the toilet, just drop them below. And then subscribe to the channel, ring the bell till it goes ding. That's it. And the Golden Trophy Award can be yours from Trophy Smack. Next up on the questions, we've got Jamie dropping Etienne for Tracy. Is that a good move? I don't know if I want to drop Etienne.
Well, and I'm not. I don't even. Devin Singletary might be back this week, so you're dropping Etienne for a handcuff.
Jamie, that's not.
You drop somebody else. You pick up Tracy, but you don't drop Etienne.
No, that's not what you do. Ronaldo, with Russell Wilson news, I assume we can safely drop Fields, right? No.
Russell Wilson's going to play the Jets. He goes out there and stinks up the joint. Fields is starting next week. Which is kind of what I'm wondering, man. I don't want to say Mike Tomlin's setting Russell up, but like starting him against the freaking Jets this week is feeding him to the Wolves. And if he looks rough, this just says, okay, well, we gave Russ a shot, and then we get to start Fields the whole rest of the season. Am I wrong, Joey? And I know I'm wearing a tinfoil hat right now.
Well, here's the only thing I don't understand. So Pelissero reported they plan to give Russell Wilson first-team reps in practice this week, putting him in line to make a season debut to start Sunday. You can take first-team reps, and that puts you in line. It doesn't make you the starter. So
why do you give first-team reps to a guy that isn't going to start? Like, why do you not give them to your freaking starting quarterback then? Like,
teacher, I know why. Because somebody is asking, is Russell Wilson healthy? Somebody is kicking the tires and wants to trade for Russell Wilson.
That's good.
So what they want to see him do is get out there and take first-team reps all week and good reports out of that. That's my take on this.
So who do you think?
And this is the same guy that last week on this show, when Robert Saleh got fired, said the reason why, and then it broke like 40 minutes later while we were on the show that's exactly what happened. This is kind of how the NFL works, folks. So
who's kicking the tires? I need to know, like, which team is kicking the tires then? Because is it the Dolphins?
If the Dolphins were smart, they would be kicking the tires.
Okay.
I also think that the Tennessee Titans are looking for a quarterback.
Okay.
I don't think you can possibly think anything different at this point. So there's not a lot of quarterback needy teams, but there are some that are incredibly needy. So
please don't tell me the Saints. Please don't tell me the Saints. I can't.
Well, I don't think so, because the Carr injury isn't a season-ending injury. So I don't think that's the case. The Raiders are certainly a team that I don't think is happy with their quarterback situation.
Fair.
The Titans are the one that pops to me first, because Will Levis is not a first-round pick. So you threw him out there for 6 weeks. You saw what it was. It wasn't good. So what do you want to do? Tony Pollard's playing well. You've got Calvin Ridley. You've got DeAndre Hopkins. You've got Tony Pollard.
That's fair.
You've got a defense that's not the worst defense in the league.
No, they're playing really good, actually. They're playing good.
They're playing very good. So Russell Wilson and the Tennessee Titans is a perfect marriage. But the only way you can pull off a deal like that is to prove that he's actually healthy. Now, I don't know if that makes you want to throw him against the Jets, because he might not make it out of that game alive.
True.
But, especially the way he takes sacks. But I am not dropping Fields. Like, that is madness.
No way. You're not dropping Fields, because and it's funny.
I mean, Fields just can't win. He scored 2 touchdowns last week, and I don't get this.
Fields is playing really good football considering what they have put around him. I mean, like, the fact of it is that they do not have a legitimate, like, true receiving threat outside of Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. And Pickens, they don't even play in a freaking full-time role. So it's like, who the hell do you expect him to throw the ball to and have success? Like, I've seen Scotty Miller and Van Jefferson drop a handful of balls in the last 2 weeks. So we're like, if you're Fields, you're like, dude, can nobody catch the damn ball when I throw it?
He needs a Lad McConkey. That's what he needs. He needs that kind of guy.
Funny, they got a Roman Wilson, and then they choose not to even play him.
Well, whatever.
Good call,
My dogs is from Nick. JuJu Smith-Schuster or Christian Watson the rest of the season. It's Watson for me.
Watson. I am sorry. I am not falling for JuJu Smith-Schuster. I'm not.
Nick wants to know, is Jerry Jeudy worth a waiver wire pickup now that Cooper is gone?
Sure. Depends on who you're dropping for him. I mean, would you take Pop Douglas or Jerry Jeudy? They're both out there. For me, it's Pop.
I agree. I like Douglas.
I mean, He's producing. He's arguably got a better quarterback. Not actually much of an argument, but Drake May at one start is better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Drake May is not the worst quarterback in the league.
No, that's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Will Levis. I mean, Aiden O'Connell. Like
Will Levis versus Aiden O'Connell and Deshaun Watson is actually a pretty good conversation. And I think I probably take Aiden O'Connell and Will Levis.
Dude, let me tell you, like when you start looking at the landscape of that was Drake May's first game. I think you give Drake May some time in offensive line next year. I think the Patriots start to turn things around a little bit. Yeah. Paco Solis. Do I drop Pat Freiermuth and pick up Tyler Allgeier? I have CMC. Well, it depends on what's left.
Who are you starting at tight end then?
Look, if you have a good starting tight end and Freiermuth is just bench fodder, then yes, Allgeier.
Yeah, then I'm fine with it. Depends on who your starter is, though.
All right, here's one from Jeff. Should I drop Shakir now? I don't
Depends
think
on for who.
Will you drop him for DeMario Douglas?
Yes. I would drop him for DeMario Douglas. I'd drop him for Jeudy. I'd drop him for JuJu and Watson.
Romeo Doubs?
Yep. Better offense.
Better pizza. Papa John's. Raiders 66. Thoughts on dropping? By the way, Papa John's pizza is not good. That's not good pizza.
It's got its moments. I'm not saying it's amazing.
That's why they give you that dipping sauce. That's like
better than Little Caesars and Domino's.
I've never had Little Caesars before.
Well, you apparently haven't.
Which is funny
paid
because
for.
You would think the pizza
buying
all his life.
Buying Little Caesars is just paying for diarrhea at the end of the day.
You know what?
You're just purchasing it. You're saying,
I want diarrhea
on
your bingo card for the live stream. Congratulations, folks. There you go. This is why you stay here. This is why you subscribe to the channel. Raiders 66. Thoughts on dropping Zach Charbonnet for Allgeier? It's kind of the same concept.
Same concept.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on do you have Walker, do you have Bijan, and I mean it's the same thing for me.
If let's say you don't have either, who's the more valuable guy to you? I think it's Allgeier because he's had 1,000-yard rushing season. And I know I'm hung up on that, but it matters. He's produced in the NFL for a whole season.
I think it's Allgeier, and I'm going to say this: you have two high pace offenses, two pass happy offenses. For me, it's Allgeier just simply based off of they have the better offensive line.
All right, if we don't get to your question today, fear not, boys and girls, because the waiver assistant is here to help you. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Download the My Playbook app wherever you get your apps for iOS and for Android, and use My Playbook, sync your leagues for free, and use the waiver assistant to get ahead of all your league mates with expert add drop advice, the players to get in your lineups, the players to send to the waiver wire packing. The waiver assistant can help you, and check out all the amazing tools on My Playbook. Again, if you're not using the tools, man, you're just not doing it right. Back to the questions. Andres says a question. Oh,
Joey,
did I get traded?
Nobody's offering high enough compensation for that to happen.
I'm like a conditional 5th round pick at best.
There's one guy that we need to eventually discuss on this show that we did not hit on the waiver wire because the game had not even happened, is Ray Davis. So
okay, let's do it now.
We definitely need to bring him up, and because I moved him up into my top 5. He's my 3rd overall pickup for the week. Okay. Because if James Cook misses another game, which this is all cloak and dagger. Up until last night, if James Cook misses another week or two, like if this is turf toe and he's going to miss multiple games,
he's going to miss multiple.
You're talking about him and Tyrone Tracy, and honestly, I think Singletary is back. I think Ray Davis should be the number 1 running back pickup of the week, considering all that. And we have to bring that up because we didn't talk about him on the waiver wire show because he didn't blow out this game, because at the time we recorded that, we didn't even know James Cook wasn't playing.
James Cook and turf toe. I knew he wasn't going to play. I just didn't know how good Davis would be. Yeah. But that's going to be 3 weeks at a best case scenario. That's just, I mean, how old do we have to be to keep doing this before we realize these things? Like, this is what turf toe. Okay, I'll see you in a month. That's basically what it is. Andres, who should I stream at tight end? Andres got real panicked that I didn't forget your question. I brought it up, Andres. He's like, "Oh, I was so close to getting
my fault. I'm interrupting us and throwing in side tangents.
I'm in control of the situation." Otton, Ertz, or Henry? I like Hunter Henry.
Did you just refer to me as the situation? I feel like that's what just happened.
Those people are all like 50 years old and they're still doing MTV shows. What the hell is on? I haven't watched MTV.
Dude,
I don't know, since like 2000.
Early 2000s. Yeah, like
is it even still around? It's on. I literally
Is
was
it?
just flipping around and I saw a commercial for they're doing some other Jersey Shore thing.
Oh,
These
God,
numbnuts they're like
dude.
50 years old and they're like
You
doing
got
these
like
Jersey
4
Shore.
kids and stuff like that. Let me go sit here and get drunk on national television and
God,
act like a
they're
fool.
like they're in their 50s. I mean, we're gonna do like senior citizen home.
Snooki, nobody
Jersey Shore?
cares. Nobody cares.
I didn't
what
care
you're
the
up to.
first time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Hunter Henry. That's the situation.
So I'm going Cade Otton. Baltimore has been a wonderful tight end matchup. He's been the number 3 wide receiver.
Jacksonville's no slouch when giving up points either.
That's
So
true.
Danny Rodriguez. I think Hunter Henry has more long-term appeal too. I'm just saying that. I think the kid's gonna figure it out. Danny Rodriguez, half PPR, dropped Jakobi Meyers for Tyrone Tracy.
No, I mean,
I
so
don't have a problem with
Meyers.
that if you just want to add the depth.
I mean, to me, that would be assuming that Tracy is going to start this week. I don't know if that happens. To be honest, I think you need to add both. Like, you need to keep Meyers and drop somebody else for Tracy if you're going to make that move. Like, Meyers is going to be a target hog. He already has been in tough matchups over the last 2 weeks. That's the other fallout of this that we didn't talk about, Joey, is Meyers is probably in that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 bucket now, and Brock Bowers. I mean, dude, we already saw him getting a ton of targets. Brock Bowers is going to see what, 11 to 12 targets on a weekly basis now? Like, lock it in?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, rest of season, Brock Bowers is going to be up there. Like, he was.
Well, there's just
like,
nobody else left, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope he can hold up to it. But yeah, Bowers, you could
becomes
argue right now, Bowers has
two.
the inside track to finish as the tight end 1.
Yeah. I mean,
Just from the sheer need.
The only tight end you'd want probably over Bowers rest of season is what? Maybe, I mean, the conversation is what? Kelsey, McBride, Kittle, and that's it?
Well, Laporta. I don't want to throw Laporta out with the bathwater yet. Like, I'm not ready.
Okay.
Like, it's been slow. Well, Laporta's.
I don't think he's 100% healthy. That's hurt him too. So
I don't think so either. Jakobi Meyers and Calvin Ridley rest of season.
Myers.
Well, if Russell Wilson goes to the Titans, maybe I like Calvin Ridley a little bit more.
I mean, I'm on Myers right now only because we have seen the Will Levis show and Calvin Ridley is tired of watching it. Speaking of wide receivers that can get traded,
I seriously though, the Russell Wilson thing, I saw that today and I was like, this makes 0 sense. You're cruising. You had 2 losses, then Fields had a terrific win on the road in Vegas. All this has to be about proving he's healthy. So move
has to be. This feels like a front office fueled move, not a Mike Tomlin thing.
You know what this is?
And Tomlin's trying to spin it.
Perfect opportunity in Superflex leagues to buy Justin Fields everywhere. I would be sending out trade. The panic is real. Send out trade offers.
So you're not going to trade him to me in Flex League. Got it. Okay.
Nope. Not happening.
Got it.
Well, I used the 9th round pick on him. And so far, where is he in QB points? I didn't even look.
Ooh.
That's a good question, right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm going to ask this question. You go
All
find
right,
the answer to that one.
Got it.
Keith,
got it. On it.
By the way, Derek and I just do this all day. They just turn on the cameras at 3:00 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like, this is pretty much what we do.
Yeah, so this is just opening up like our text messages and other random BS just online.
Or just us after a pod for like another half hour. This is it. This is the show, folks.
Is true. This is it.
Keith Rozier. Do I pick up Ty Chandler, JuJu, or Watson? Well, Keith, here's the thing. In a standard format, Ty Chandler is probably going to have the most immediate value, more volume, all that stuff. Watson has more appeal to me over JuJu because Watson has big play touchdown equity in a standard format. I covet that. JuJu in more of a PPR style. So as an asset, it's Watson. Short term, if you're a 500 team looking for some help right now, Chandler's the guy. Okay, what's the answer? Where's Fields? Is he QB 10?
QB 7, right behind Josh Allen and right ahead of Jalen Hurts.
How many rushing touchdowns does he have on the year? 6?
I think the last time I looked, the truckload, but I'll double check.
I want to see how many he's got. It's got to be 6.
I mean,
right?
I think it's 5 or 6. He's got two games with 2 of them, right?
That's what at least
two right? pieces. I want to say. Let's go here. 5. He had 2 last week, 0, and then 2 and 1. So
I mean, QB 6. Everyone laughed at me when I took him in the 9th round in Flex.
I didn't laugh at you. I told you.
Well, you weren't in the room.
I told you it was a baller.
Everybody but Andrew Erickson. He was mad because he thought he was going to do it.
I was pissed when you did that, when you made that, because I was like, I had him at the top of my queue to get him the next round, and you took him, and I was like, oh, you got to be, dude. I was, because like I wasn't able to fly up there. I had a stand-in at the draft.
Your thing.
Who is orange and has a glittery crotch. There we go. Hi. And I I was cussing. My wife was actually in the kitchen. She comes to the office. She's like, "What is wrong?" And I was like, "I want to punch Joe straight in the face right now." I was so mad.
Well, look,
I actually think I texted you that in the draft.
You did. We were texting during the draft. Here's the other thing too, and this is important because I don't feel like enough fantasy shows talk about football. And that sounds like, what are you talking about? We always try to talk about football here. We're talking about these different situations. The field situation is a perfect example, right? How we were talking about that in August, saying, what are you doing? Now, this is weird, week 7. Are we just handing the keys over to Russell Wilson now at this stage? It makes no sense at all. So
it's ridiculous.
To me, all this means is proving Russell Wilson's healthy. And if you want to showcase him, because what week is it, Derek? It's week 7. When is the trade deadline, Derek?
Oh,
trade deadline in the NFL. They did change it, did they not?
I think they did change it.
It's soon. Let's find the date.
I want to say it was okay. It is November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern.
November 5th. Okay. So that's fun. So election day, that won't be a busy day at all.
No news. Nothing's going on that day. You don't have to worry about it. It seems like a quiet day.
So if there are any teams right now that are looking for quarterback help, right? And the Dolphins certainly are one.
That would be the Tuesday after week 9, just to put that in context for everybody.
Okay. Because it used to be week 8.
I want to say, it used to be
week 9 when the schedule expanded.
Yeah.
So there's definitely opportunity there. And again, I think it's only a couple teams. I think it's the Raiders, and I think it's the Titans, and I think it's the Dolphins. Those are the 3 where you could say, okay, all those teams, could be looking more even to the future. I mean, there's no immediate fix for 2 of those 3 teams. The immediate fix is Tua getting healthy, but that might not be something you can count on. And, the Miami Dolphins have too much talent to just let it go. Anastasia dropped Richardson for Caleb Williams. I'm okay with this. I don't think it's crazy.
I think they're in the same area code. I mean, I'm fine.
He's got good weapons. He seems to be getting confidence.
I think Richardson's going to have a bounce back game this week. But I get Caleb's on the rise. Definitely.
Amanda, can I finally drop Etienne for Tank Dell or Ty Chandler? I hate dropping running backs.
I'm okay with you dropping him for Tank Dell. I'm fine with that.
Amanda, you better have a lot of depth at running back.
Not Ty Chandler.
But you need to have a lot of depth at running back to make this move. And I would also look, sometimes in some leagues, a guy doesn't have to be on the IR for you to use an IR spot. So if he's hurt,
just out. Yep.
Amanda, look at that and see if the site that you play on and the rules set up, you could just add them to IR and then just add Dell or Chandler.
I would, and here's the other part of it. Like, you're obviously dropping a backup defense or a wide receiver 4 or another tight end probably over Etienne to pick up Dell.
Yeah.
Just to add context.
James Murray. Hey guys, full PPR. Can we drop Javonte Williams? We drop for Christian Watson or Tracy? Yes.
Yes. The answer is just yes.
Watson over Tracy for me, unless you really need RB help. Jennifer, aka Jenny Jump. I like that. Everyone should have their nicknames in the chat.
Yeah, I like that.
Look, Jenny's bringing the heat here. Yeah. Tank Bigsby or Bucky Irving RB. I like the tank.
Yeah, I'm going with the tank.
Let's go. Tank it up. KCU drop Fields for Caleb Williams. Oh, here we go. Panic has begun. Tom Pelissero.
I get it, but I don't want to do it.
No.
If you need a quarterback to start this week, I understand it. But if you're rostering 2 quarterbacks, I'm not dropping Fields if I have another option that I'm rolling with. I don't want to do that. I mean, he's the QB7. Like, he still has top 5 upside for the rest of the freaking season. Like, that's tough, man.
All right, I'm gonna read these stats out here. Okay, you ready? 10 total touchdowns. Actually, I'm just gonna set it up differently. These are the comparison stats between CJ Stroud and Justin Fields. You ready for this?
Okay.
You ready? 66% completion percentage for Fields, 68 for CJ Stroud. 10 total touchdowns apiece. 4 picks for CJ Stroud, 1 interception for Fields. Again, that's a little skewed because they throw the ball more in Houston. Passer rating, 93.9 for Fields, 98.6 for Stroud, 1,337 yards for Justin Fields, 1,652 for Stroud. You're not dropping CJ Stroud. Why are you dropping Justin Fields?
It's not him.
No, but like, am I asking you? I'm asking
Fields stink though.
the
Like it's the
metaverse
fact that
of you. Yeah.
it's the fact that people don't want to believe in Justin Fields, and they don't want to, like, they don't believe what their eyes are telling them. That's what it all comes down to. It's like, oh well, the Russell Wilson rug is going to get pulled out from under us. Like it's like, no, man, like Fields has played good considering all these different factors. Like, I can't tell you what the hell. I mean, we're trying to surmise what the hell the Steelers are doing right now, but I still think that at the end of the day, the wagons circle back around and Fields will be the starter.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, buy everywhere. He's 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here?
I don't understand that either. Like, if they would have lost to the Raiders,
Fields is not the problem. The offensive line's the problem. Najee Harris can be the problem.
George Pickens' pitch and fits is a problem. Arthur Smith is kind of a problem, but
yeah, but it's like, you can't hang on Justin Fields. And look, if you want to throw Russell Wilson to the Wolves against the Jets for a week, whatever. But like that's not a good look. I can't imagine Tomlin doing this. If I have
this is the front office.
I have great reverence.
Can't
for him.
See, yeah, same. I have a lot of respect.
I love
for
Mike Tomlin as a football coach.
He's a player's coach, man. Like, tell me how this really like sells in the locker room. We're 4-2.
Showcase.
We've been playing our butts off for Justin Fields. We're 4-2, and now you're going to change it up for freaking Russell Wilson.
I mean, I just read the stats out. No one's calling for the head of CJ Stroud.
Nope.
Right? You know, I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. It should be interesting. Next is Christian. Appreciate the hard work. Thanks, Christian.
Thanks, Christian.
I have Goddard hurt, and I need a tight end. Andrews and Njoku, Freiermuth are on waivers. Should I drop Goddard for Odunze for one of these tight ends? I don't want to drop Goddard. I'd rather drop Odunze. He's on a bye anyway.
Yeah,
and he's the
I'm
third
fine
guy.
with that. And you pick up Njoku, like we said. I think he's a buy low guy.
I like Andrews' touchdown equity more. Just saying.
I still have a bone.
I
still have a bone to pick with Todd Monken.
Bro, I
need to get on
the Laporta touchdown on Sunday. I called the Mark Andrews tutty on Sunday. Had him in DFS lineups too. It was a beautiful thing. Jose, so now hold JuJu because no one good to go in Kansas City. Yeah, you have to hold. You play JuJu.
I mean, you hold JuJu. But I wouldn't rule out somebody getting traded to KC. I mean, you still have Ridley, Hopkins, Keenan Allen can move. Like, there's a lot of guys that still could get moved. I don't think this means KC is not trading for anybody.
The other place you should be moving is our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. It is free to join. And of course, if you're premium, you get access to even more channels. But Out of Bounds on there every single Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern. The Extra Point with Welsh and Erickson every Thursday. Check them out. They are out there. Live shows where you guys can hang out with us and ask questions. Be on the podcast. We're the people show. That's what we do at Fantasy Pros. And there's a ton of amazing football degenerates there. It's a great community of people who just love football, love talking fantasy football. So join our Discord again, fantasypros.com/chat. It is a great place to be. And then next year you're trying to join leagues or all these things or, do a million mock drafts, but nobody wants to mock draft with you. We have a whole channel just for mock drafts in our Discord. Everybody's just going constantly, and Debro and I are in that all the time. So check that out. All right, go back to the questions here. Jakobi Meyers on the waiver wire with Pop Douglas. Who are you taking? I'm taking Pop. I want to see something new.
I'm taking Pop.
Next
comes down to quarterback play.
Jeff Rogers, Otton or Schultz?
Otton.
Okay, so that's 2 for 2 there. Awesome Dev, friend of the show. Hi, gents.
Hey,
I need to drop room for a kicker. I have Aubrey, and I don't want to drop it. Do I drop Dowd or Tyrone? No, you drop Aubrey.
Drop the another kicker. Awesome.
Stop it.
Hear me.
Stop it.
Not dropping a positional player for a kicker. You just drop the kicker.
Kickers. You pick up the kicker next week.
We have made the case, too, that, look, Austin Seibert's out in a lot of freaking leagues. He's a kicker, too. Nobody cares. It's a kicker. Drop the kicker.
Shubes, get Drake May or Kirk Cousins.
Cousins.
That's not close. Let's go to Concase. Drop Coleman for Shakir. Yes.
Coleman is coffin nailed.
Yago Gallego. That's a great name, by the way. Cade nice. Up or down?
Very oh god, what is the movie Indigo Montoya? It reminds me
Princess Bride.
Yeah, it reminds me of Princess Bride. There we go. Montoya. I had a brain fart.
Saying that. One of the great funniest moments ever is when he finally sees the six-fingered man and he finally gets to say that, and they've got their swords drawn, and Christopher Guest, who plays the six-fingered man, goes to like this with a sword and then runs away. It is such a perfect comedic moment that you're anticipating this big dramatic moment, and he turns it into just like the perfect comedic timing. The guy's a genius.
I got a good trivia question. Did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally the one that they wanted to cast in The Princess Bride over Andre the Giant?
Yes, I have.
And then they went back to they tried to get him, and then they got delayed with production, and they went back to the well with him, but then he was a mega movie star, so then they got Andre the Giant afterwards. Yep.
And Andre is great. I can barely understand what he says in that movie, and it's perfect.
Anybody want a peanut?
Look, Cade is just mid. Like, that's where you're at. I am fascinated to see if the red zone targets now start to open up with Cooper in the offense, because I think now that you have
I think
Cooper,
they pass more. This would be
let's wait and see.
Up.
I think trending up too, so he's a hold for me. Connor, should I drop Wicks, Quentin Johnson, or Taysom Hill for Jalen Tolbert, Christian Watson, or DeMario Douglas? Yes.
You drop all three for all three of those guys.
Boom,
and
Connor.
The order is Watson, Pop, and then Tolbert. No, you're good. You're good. But yes, drop all three of those guys. Taysom Hill, I do not think plays this week. Fractured ribs.
Orale. Drop Braylon Allen and pick up Mark Andrews, Christian Watson, or Douglas. Watson
or Pop.
Look, Pop. Pop might be a more consistent PPR weekly guy, but
he's the wide receiver 30 since like week 3 or week 4. People they didn't give him enough respect in his rookie season, and they're not giving him enough respect now. He should not be out on the waiver wire. He just shouldn't.
If the Patriots could just add in the draft this year an actual alpha dog wide receiver.
Or an actual offensive lineman.
Well, they need an offensive line too. Like, they need a lot of help on the offensive line. But the thing is, like, right now,
stop drafting 5th round picks in the 2nd round. Nice.
That's what's so frustrating. It's like if you love these guys, but the rest of the league is got a 5th round grade on them, stop drafting them in the 2nd round.
That's not the Patriot way, Joey. That's not the Patriot way. You can't get sniped on a 4th round graded pick if you take him in the 2nd.
Man, I hate it. I hate it so much. Nathan Draper, what do I do with Calvin Ridley? You hold. I mean, guys are getting traded all over the place.
Hold and hope that he gets a quarterback, because that quarterback, Will Levis, is not good.
Let's say Russell Wilson let's have some fun. Russell Wilson to the Titans. What becomes of Hopkins and Ridley? Are you interested in them?
I would be interested in both of them, probably more Calvin Ridley, because we know Russell Wilson's game. It's run around a little bit and chuck it deep.
Oh, that makes sense. TM, Mooney or DeMario Douglas or Tracy, maybe. I still want Mooney. Mooney's been great.
Down game, but he's still the guy you want.
Frosty Fingers. One of the lesser known members of the
Not a finger.
Drop Ty Chandler for Davis. I'm a Cook owner.
Yes.
There you go. Peter G. Do I drop McConkey for Sean Tucker in a keeper league?
No. Especially not in a keeper league. No.
But
there's a reason we didn't bring up Sean Tucker on the waiver wire show, because it's fool's gold.
Look, I mean, he in a deeper league it's only a 2-team bye, right? It's the Bears and Cowboys.
Yes.
So, it's just this. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to chase that. Is Odunze droppable at this point? Is from Rinchell. Christian Watson's on waivers. I would much rather have Watson over Odunze the rest of season.
I mean, you're basically asking at this point to hold Odunze on your teams. I love the talent. I love the player. But to hold him, you're asking Caleb Williams to support 4 receiving options, and he's just not good enough yet to do that. Like, he can support 1, maybe 2 on a weekly basis.
Well, I think the theory is DJ Moore healthy, because last week we know
and Cole Kmet has been a huge part of this passing attack, which
should surprise very little people out there, because every time I get a rookie quarterback, a tight end become like Zach Ertz has been startable. Zach Ertz, he's 174 years old. Louis,
JD5 is him.
That's right. He certainly is, man. I'm so glad. I had the 3rd overall pick in the rookie dynasty draft for my dynasty league. Caleb went 1, Marvin went 2, and
then you're just like after you press the draft button, you're just dancing naked in your room. You're like,
and I had the 10th overall pick too for making trades, so I got Jonathan Brooks also.
Oh wow,
so, yeah,
that's wonderful.
Louis
next year.
Drake May or Caleb.
Caleb.
It's definitely Caleb.
Yeah.
This week, though, you can only play one of them because the other's on a bye.
Mm.
Will game. Sure. Should I drop Jerry Jeudy for DeMario, Douglas, or JuJu? Yes and yes. JuJu over Douglas or Douglas over JuJu?
Douglas over JuJu.
Douglas over JuJu. Let's go to Sal. Drop JSN for JuJu.
No.
I don't think so.
No. Just no.
M with the shots. Drop JuJu for Downs or Douglas.
Yes.
Is there a question that doesn't involve Pop Douglas today? The answer, no. Here's a Nick question. Is DeMario Douglas a good dart throw or go safer with Christian Watson? Watson, again, I think DeMario Douglas will be the more consistent double-digit performer.
Watson's the ceiling.
Watson's a guy that can come away with 5 catches for 2 touchdowns, and that kind of week that crushes.
Watson can turn into a wide receiver too. Pop Douglas is probably captain that offense as a wide receiver 3.
I don't think we're wish casting here about Watson. It's just a matter of health.
Always been a matter healthy of Jordan Love, healthy Christian Watson. Can we please get both for the rest of the season?
Brittany's question: should I drop Lazard for JuJu or Pop Douglas? Yes.
Yes.
Pop Douglas.
Just yes. The answer is yes.
Jan, drop Ferguson for Ingram. Sure.
Jan.
Well, you can't play.
You're so good. Well, I was gonna say you're good with that, even though you don't like Ingram.
Like, Cowboys are a mess. I don't like Ingram, but I need a win.
Fair.
So
okay. Yeah.
Henry, Ray Davis or Sean Tucker? Davis. Here's one from Jesse J. Love you guys. Oh, thanks, Jesse. Drop Tolbert for Pops or JuJu?
Either. Put in bids for both. Pop over JuJu.
All right, everybody. We want to remind you, if you're watching the stream, drop your comments below. You just might win Trophy Smack's golden toilet. This one's hilarious. Customize it with your league loser and give it to them right after the holidays. It's a perfect gift. Again, how do you get this? Just subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, and ring the bell till it goes ding for notifications. So you know if you are the big winner of the Trophy Smack Golden Toilet Loser Trophy from Trophy Smack, the #1 store for epic fantasy tournament trophies. Also, the waiver assistant is here on My Playbook to help you. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook and make sure you download the My Playbook app. Sync your leagues for free. Set all your lineups from one spot from all the different leagues you're in. What a time to be alive. And use the tools like the waiver assistant to help you get the right guys and make the right bids. And of course, the conversation is always going on our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. It's free to join. It's fun. Be part of the shows too on Monday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We love having you guys around. D-Bro, this was a jam-packed show today. What amazing stuff.
Yes,
Seth,
sir.
Great job today, as always. That'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us. But of course, the story of the game goes on. For Derek Brown, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Russell Wilson.
You know what I always think of? Curse you, tiny toilet. The whole
time. I was thinking the same thing.
I always think of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Underrated.
With direction and magnitude.
Underrated villain. Love